Many of us dream of changing the world and changing our communities, but very few of us actually act on the dream. And I do believe that the Denis Hurley Centre has that opportunity and has fulfilled the dream of acting and working within the communities.
As part of the call of the church, I've involved myself as to give up my time and my skills to the church. I started with the homeless project with Father Stephen, and further involved myself with Denis Hurley, and I believe this is where I could add value for the church.
Well, having worked with Archbishop Hurley and Paddy Carney in the late 70s at Diaconia Council of Churches, I was very involved with social justice issues. And so in 2013, when Paddy approached me to serve as a trustee, I was quite excited because I was retiring in 2 years, and I thought this would be just an extension of what I was involved in already. So it was a very easy decision to be involved.
Okay, well, I sit at the trustee committee as a representative of the Emmanuel Cathedral Parish Pastoral Council. You know, this is where everything began, where the seed of the Denis Hurley Centre was planted, back when our administrator was Father Stephen Talley, who worked together with a pastoral council and Paddy Carney to put together this idea of the Denis Hurley Centre, changing our parish centre into the Denis Hurley Centre that we know today.
As a trustee of the Denis Hurley Centre, I believe that we need to help the centre to remain focused on its programs, on achieving its purpose and its mission, especially around issues of care, education and community. With the background that I have from education, university, community engagement projects I've been engaged with, and also as a priest, I believe that I can assist and I can work with in both of us achieving our vision and missions in life.
First of all, I appreciate very much the life, the spirituality and the person of Archbishop Denis Hurley, and I feel very much privileged to participate in an organization that keeps his life, his ministry and his spirit alive. And secondly, I'm involved in the Denis Hurley Centre out of personal gratitude as well for the work that is done by the Denis Hurley Centre. I feel very much privileged to be actively involved in that good work that caters for all people, promoting the dignity of all people, no matter where they come from, but as long as they need help, respect, dignity, and the Denis Hurley Centre provides that, and I'm very much happy to be part of such an organization. That's how I'm involved in the Denis Hurley Centre.
So privileged to be in the heart of the city and also to work and to see the heart of the city beating through the Denis Hurley Centre.
I admire the work and mission of Archbishop Denis Hurley, and believe that the DHC is really trying to take that mission forward and bring it to life in the modern day. And it's for that reason that I'm involved with the centre.
The other reason why I'm particularly pleased or involved with the Denis Hurley Centre is that this is actually where the gospel is put into practice. And interesting enough, it brings everybody together as brothers and sisters, as the community of Durban, all Catholics, all Christian communities, all faiths, as well as the business community, to serve the poorest of the poor.
I think that many NGOs operate on limited resources. That makes them incapable of actually fulfilling their goal as an organization. This can either be because they are not doing enough fundraising, or they lack the strategy to do so, or maybe even the skill to do fundraising.
I would think that all NGOs in South Africa probably need an effective and an efficient board that can actually steer all the NGOs towards the correct directions, especially during the change that is exerted by the external environment.
I do believe it's a lot to do with the skills mix of the governance structures of the NGOs. In some of the NGOs, I believe people who do it for the passion and not understanding the responsibilities of running such an NGO, essentially you're accountable for funds, but we do not have the skills sometimes to do that.
Especially during this time of the COVID-19 pandemic, where there's so much losses of employment, there's an increased number of homeless people, there's finances are becoming very low. I believe some of the issues that are facing the Denis Hurley Centre, in particular as an NGO, is that we need to remain relevant. We need to ensure that we are transparent, accountable, and that we are responsible for the manner in which we use funding as an NGO, and that we receive funding, to remain transparent, accountable, and responsible.
For many NGOs in South Africa today, there's a balancing act between opportunities that arise, expediency, and the principles which the organization seeks to fulfill and seeks to live by. And these can be in conflict, and figuring out how to balance those is a critical problem, and one which I think the DHC has been doing really well at.
I think the other aspect is good practice in financial management, because that's another thing that donors look for, where organizations have annual general meetings where they present financial statements, and it's done according to the Constitution. So procedures and policies are also something that NGOs should make a priority.
Some of the reasons that I think contributes in issues of governance for facing NGOs today is sometimes the NGOs tend to focus so much on doing good, being practical, chasing their dreams of making a difference in the life of the people or the community they serve, forgetting the professional running of the NGO, like establishing the board, having a professional or a good finance committee that will deal with their financial issues in a transparent way. And when that is lacking, sponsors or donors or funders find it very difficult if there is a lack of transparency in the finances that they support the NGO with.
The other aspect is with government itself, a lack of support from government, and I am going to say a very slow response in terms of the needs of the vulnerable and the homeless in our city. We are the voice of the voiceless.
For the Denis Hurley Centre, I really hope that it remains the beacon of faith, of hope for the people of Durban, especially the poorest of the community, and also that the Denis Hurley community never change its values. It remains true to its values.
Personal hope for the Denis Hurley Centre is that it will continue with its good work. Denis Hurley Centre looks after a lot of people, especially those who have nowhere to go, who have no means of maintaining themselves, who are lost in South Africa, maybe from other countries, but also the locals who have no means of maintaining themselves.
The one thing that comes to mind is treasure. We have to treasure each other. And our homeless are a treasure to the city, are a treasure to us, because there's so much that we can learn from each other. So offer a smile.
That the Denis Hurley Centre would remain relevant to the situation of the people that the centre is looking after.
My hope for the future for the Denis Hurley Centre is that it will obviously continue to do the good work that it's doing, but that it will increasingly act as an example to others of how working with the most vulnerable in society can achieve such great outcomes, and that it really is a truly worthwhile mission.
As the Denis Hurley Centre, we need to ensure that we continue to work towards bridging those divisions in society, making society become one, that all the increased number of homeless people, the increased number of vulnerable people, especially as a result of this pandemic.
That we continue to be a community serving humanity and a beacon of hope for all those who are less fortunate than ourselves. My other hope is that we continue to unite with all our diversity, because this is very, very unique to the Denis Hurley Centre, that we are unified through our diversity, irrespective of race, culture, religion, and gender systems, etc.
I really think that the DHC should encourage a diverse group of people and a lot of young people, because some of us in the DHC have been there for a while, and we should start by walking alongside new young members in the city and from the parishes.
I'm hoping that this becomes a beacon of hope for other NGOs to do good work in the communities, and for ourselves as a Denis Hurley Centre to grow and become more effective around the city centre, and even grow and be influenced in the bigger, wider eThekwini municipality.
It will remain a centre that is focusing on making people feel that they are human beings more than anything else. And that is my hope, and that is my prayer. And I hope, because I know that the centre has got dedicated members who can actually make that a reality. So I really hope that this is possible.
And I hope that more and more able and willing people will continue or will start to support the good work that is done by the Denis Hurley Centre.